You know what? Just to shift gears a little bit, we got the reuniting of another sick combination that I've always been a fan of. Mama and Walnut back together. What do you guys feel about this trade? Because I was reading Twitter and some people were saying the 76ers got fleeced in this deal, if I'm being completely honest.
No.
That's what I was reading. I didn't agree with that.
No. Not according to how I'm sizing up the trade market.
From the casual fan, right? Like when you see Yusuf or Walnut, like I understand why people were saying that. Just because it's like you see Walnut, he's a super outspoken guy, like super charismatic, MVP, defensive player of the year. So like when you put that up against just Yusuf, like, yeah, I can understand why people say that, but you have to look at what they also got, like what else they got. They got a first round pick and a future first round pick. Like they got a lot of value, you know what I mean, in return for giving up Dane. Obviously I was in Philly last year. So I personally love it. Like, I mean, like Dane to me is like, he's one of my best friends in the league. And being around him last year, I know it's a little different because like we're not in person besides the playoffs last year, but like Walnut hasn't been Walnut without Nadal, you know, without Mama. Like they just coexist so well with each other, and like they bring the best out of each other. It's hard. Like you want to see them back together, and it's nice to see them back together in a different team, and you know, and with Crush at lockdown, like that's a scary three. And depending on what they do in the draft, like that could be a really serious team.
Those guys on land too, like on stage, you know, I think you nailed it. Like as a fan of the league, I just love those guys being together because I don't think anybody trash talks or celebrates more authentically than those guys. You know, when the two of them are like dancing on camera together, or Mama's doing one of his lives or whatever, like they're just so authentic. It's just so easy to watch and listen to those guys. So I agree. Now listen, I want to ask you. You know, there is consensus. And again, you know, I am the maestro, right? I don't actually know the nuances of the game. I can't watch Pro-Am and be like, that's the guy right there, right? Even after all my years of studying 2K, there's people in this community who have forgotten more about 2K than I'll ever know, that's for sure. And, you know, the intel that I'm getting is, you know, the way that we're shifting and with some of the unannounced, but like worst kept secrets in the league that are coming as far as format changes next year, which, you know, we won't get into specifics, but I think anybody who's following the beat knows what I mean. You know, is like, I know that their pick and roll has been like legendary, and you know, Walnut really more so is like in the paint kind of center. Like, is, you know, do you think that it's going to work with the way that the meta of the game is going right now? Like, because Walnut's a guy that I super respect. Like, I've always admired him. I want him on my team, but you know, I don't know. Like, the consensus seems to be that maybe that type of 2K is not going to translate so well into, you know, where we're headed. Well,
what I'll say is like, and just from previous experience, right? Like being a player and going from off season to season is like most of the time what we expect the league build to be isn't what it is, right?
True.
So like, I mean, I've had, you know, I forgot what season it was, but they flew me to California to test the league build. So I thought I had a heads up on like, you know, what it was going to be like. And I think I was on the Magic at the time, and I was telling Jonah like, okay, this is exactly how it's going to play. And like, this is who we should go for. And of course, like it comes out and we all get it, and it's like it was not even close to what I told Jonah it was gonna be like. So
yeah, that was premature. I think that play test session.
Right. So I mean, it's hard to say like, listen, like, oh, okay, like his play style won't fit, because I just think those are two guys who they just figure it out. I mean, every single season they've been with each other, they've figured it out, right? Like, you know, season 1 they were dominant before the patch. And then the patch came, and like, yeah, people said they weren't as good, and they had to adjust, and they were still pretty good after the patch. They figured it out. And then season 2, you know, a lot of people said, you know, paint mashing was bad in season 2, and like, would Walnut be good and all this stuff, and they figured it out. They had like the best regular season record, and Nadal raised his game a lot, and they played really well. And then you know, so, and then even season 3, right? Like they won the ticket, I think it was, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they won the ticket in season 3. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah. Where's Kev when you need him? He's on vacation today. He'd look that up for us.
They beat the Sixers. They beat the Sixers to go to for the ticket, I think, or it was either them or the T-Wolves or something like that. Look, like, you know, 3 years together and 3 playoff appearances, right? Like, so I think they're two guys who just know each other extremely well, and they understand each other's play styles extremely well, and like, there's just a huge value to that, right? Like, so I think they're gonna figure it out. Do I know if they're gonna win a championship? But I don't know. We'll see. But it's gonna be exciting to see them back on stage and just like doing their sarcastic trash talk, and it's like I've experienced that, right? Like I've actually been on stage and experienced it. It's like I can't even get mad at them when I look up and it's like I see Dane dancing and Nadal dancing, and it's like I don't even know if they're trash talking me or what they're
It's the
doing,
best kind of trash talk because you don't hate him,
is.
you know?
Right,
Like it's the best. Like
exactly.
even standing on the other side, like you know, and because him and Yus went at each other when Yus was on my team, right? I mean,
Right.
Yus had the famous "I'm gonna calm you down, boy" interview, and like even like because there are times when I'm standing behind my guys and like Mel would be like up, like just like barking at my guys, and like I
Oh,
just wanted to bark
God.
back, you know? But I'm like, okay,
Yes,
Shane, you're the
yes.
GM, you gotta like be
Mhm.
professional. But with Dane, it never like it's always
No.
like really solid and effective, you know, trash talk, but it never
Yes.
like gets under your skin, you know?
Never.
In the
So
spirit of the game.
it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to see them back
Yeah.
together. I think they're you know, briefly talking with Dane a little bit after the trade. Like he's super excited for it. Like they're such good friends. So it's gonna be cool to see them back together and playing.